Hey there, it's me, Brian Nesline with TeachSelfAwareness.com. Welcome back to another video, spiritual tips for your spiritual trip. Now, this is a pick a card stack reading video. That means that you're going to be able to pick from 3 stacks of oracle cards, and you're going to get a reading in this video. The timestamps are going to be in the comments or in the description. That way you can jump right to the one that you are drawn to. Now remember, oracle cards are nothing weird or scary or devilish. No. They're just a card with an image and some words on it. And think about it. We are surrounded by words and images all over the place. You open up your refrigerator and there you are. You see different things like milk, apples, broccoli, whatever, things that are images with words attached to them in your mind. So we're going to use these cards to be able to give you a message that somehow seems to just have a big impact on what you need to hear right now for your highest good. Let's get started. All right. So, this pick a card stack reading video is going to be awesome for you. All you have to do is pause, take a few slow, deep, conscious, mindful breaths, hold that oxygen in a little extra long. This is going to flood our blood with oxygen, and as we exhale, we're going to get into that quiet space, that elixir space, the space of consciousness where serenity and clarity prevail. From this blank canvas moment, I want you to take a look at these 3 card stacks, then just pick the one that you're drawn to. After that, we'll jump right into the 3 readings, and you can watch and experience something that you need to hear that you could use here and now for your highest good. So, what's it going to be? Card stack number 1, card stack number 2, or card stack number 3. All right. If you picked card stack number 1, I have that right here. Yeah. Let's take a peek. The first card in the reading is the Wisdom card. Boom! Are you kidding? Look at you, first of all, as the one who has overcome the world. What are we talking about? The way we overcome the world is simply by knowing that the world keeps spinning and turning. The world keeps changing. The world is a material, changing set of information. And we are living up and outside of that as our consciousness, our awareness, our spiritual self. That little quiet awareness or observer that's been living inside you since you were a little kid, that has been recording everything you see, that has been engaged in everything you do, that has been the quiet witness, the spark of the universe, the spark of God, the spark of the source, the spark within you looking through your eyes. And that way, since we know that about ourselves, we get to live outside of the world. We're not removed completely from the world. We still have our personal life, which is where our world really comes into play. See, our personal life is where the details, the behaviors, the beliefs, the thoughts, the ideas that we are believing in are coming to pass and being embodied. So we want to make sure that we know who we are outside of the world as that spiritual consciousness. And you can easily see that just by looking around and noticing, oh my God, what is this weird thing that I am called awareness, called consciousness? What is this place that I'm residing in that I cannot see? The non-material, immaterial part of you, represented by all the white light, all of the beautiful flowing of the hair, the flow of knowing stuff and being outside and bigger than the world. Now, we want to make sure that we are filled up with this green color. What is that green color? That is our spiritual heartbeat, our spiritual heart chakra, it's called. It's really just a symbol for the part of us that is the awareness, the consciousness, the spirit. So, if you want to be tapping into wisdom, the best place to do that from isn't from what we see in the world around us. No. We don't want to take on the limitations of the past or on what other people tell us or any of that. There's nothing wrong with what people share with us. That information is certainly useful for us to ponder and contemplate in our heart mind, in our spiritual mind, in our spiritual consciousness. But we don't want to take that as the guide so much as we want to go into the wisdom space of knowing that we have a solid connection to this light, this intuitive sense, this newness, this renewal represented by the white light dove, the Holy Spirit dove, the spiritual plane, the place where anything new is possible and wants to come into existence through you. So look, the light is in your hands. You are the light of the world embodied. And what's going to happen? We're going to tap into our intuition. We're going to get a sense for what we can feel as guidance from within that seems to be unique and powerful and special and that we are supposed to be doing. As we clue into that, we're going to be able to bring that into the world in our little communications and interactions with other people. Here we are represented as people in the world by these bushes, these green bushes, which means that we're encapsulated in our spiritual intuition and we are sharing with other people, sometimes like a parent, and the other person's like someone receiving, or they're like more of a child to us when we are communicating. Kind of like if you've been through something and they haven't yet gone through it, they might come to you and you'll share your wisdom of how you got through it. You'll share your wisdom of your empathy, of understanding how they feel, understanding what they're going through because you've been in something similar, and you'll be able to share your story with them, and they will be able to boom, grow bigger, have the strength and the light and the energy and the intuition and this courage to get through it too. Then they will become a bigger version of themselves like we see here. Now, other times in the world, you may be the one playing the child, the receiver, the one who's littler, not little in a bad way, not really a comparison, just littler, meaning you're in that receptive mode where you're going through something and it's a little cloudy and you're not quite sure and you're not really listening to other people as you're allowing God, the source, the universe to communicate through the light of other people who are being put in your path, communicate their stories, their similar experiences, their metaphors, their coincidences, their whatevers that allow you to sort of find your way through your various ups and downs in the world. So in a very real way, we are going to use the wisdom of God or source of universe as it's reflected or projected through other people that come across our path when we are in that growing phase of our life. Now, let's go ahead and pull the second card and see where it leads us. Whoa, what a great start. And what do we have here? Card number 2 in this reading for you. Oh yeah, look, the past lives card comes up. Now, remember, an oracle card is just images and words. So nothing to be afraid of. It's not all creepy and scary. And it doesn't necessarily mean reincarnation or past lives that we don't know about. None of that. No, this is just simply representing previous versions of ourself that are coming to pass in our present. Think about it. All throughout our lives, we have been creating new versions of ourself in a way when we are having little encounters with people, places, and things in the world. We live right here in the present as this chameleon, meaning that we are the ones who can change and adapt our consciousness, our awareness, our focal point. We can change and adapt to whatever's going on in the hourglass of our present life. As time trickles through and events trickle on, we are being formed and shaped and changed into a present version of who we are. And whoever that is will slowly come to pass, will drip down through the hourglass of time, and we will stay as this spiritual being, this spiritual awareness, regardless of what self we end up becoming. Now look, this also represents all the different roles we play in life. A dad, a mom, a brother, a sister, whatever, coworker, entrepreneur, whatever, book writer, whatever, artist. Either way, whatever those roles we are playing, we want to be able to embody them fully with our chameleon white light experience. What is that? That represents the yellow here of the joy. We want to bring joy into our current roles that we are playing. So if we're spending time with our son or daughter, we want to bring joy and playfulness in there so that it is infused with that beautiful white light of joy. And we want to bring in what? The intelligence represented by the orange here. The intelligence is wise, practical things that we're going to do that make sense, that are worthwhile, that are constructive. And we're going to bring that and articulate that in our present moment. The other thing that we see here is we want to bring our spiritual heart and the white light into all that we are playing as roles in our life. We can continue to be this conscious spirit, this awareness, this consciousness, this strange observer that is always present in the moment. As we are present in the moment, we're going to recognize this identity that is, again, outside the world. Look, you can see it's outside of the world. The world is happening in here. Where we are out here is safe and protected from any of these changes, these whirlwind of changes that go on in our personal lives, in our personal roles, in our personal feelings, in our personal details. So remember that trickle, 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 it's always dripping through the sands of time. In the world, things are always in flux, in flow, in up and down change. And we don't have to worry about that because we know our identity as this singleness of purpose, this wide-eyed single focal point, this third eye focal point, this innermost self that survives all of the iterations of the evolution of our personal life. Us at 5 years old, us at 10 years old, us as a teenager, and on, all the events of our life continue to go through, and we are richer for it all. We are holding on to the joy, holding on to the intelligent lessons, and holding on to this spiritual identity as it continues to change. In fact, all of the whirlwind of changes in our personal self, even our physical appearance, helps to remind us that we really are this other non-changing spark of God, spark of the universe, this intelligent awareness that was never born and never dies. What? So goody good good. Let's look at the third card in this reading and see what we see for you. For your highest good, where's it going to go? We're going to find out. Oh my God, the timeout card. Now look, that fits perfectly. Look how awesome this would be when we see that it really is a timeout of the world. We are taking our time out of the world, right? Out and beyond the world, as depicted right here by her, beyond the world, taking our time out to go into that space where the ups and downs of life cannot go, into this rainbow tree of life, this beautiful, wonderful tapestry of unique collection of the light. All the rainbow of colors represent a conglomerate, a mixture of the unique variety of your personal experiences. As they come together, they give life to this tree called you, to the person, to that tree called you in the world. There you are right there as a little bush talking to other people. There you are as the spiritual tree of life. All of the blue in the card is all about taking time out and communicating from in here, from that inner space, that place where anything is possible, the place that is called the space of variations, the place where you're going to be able to tap into the unique force of the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, the stars, where you're going to be able to get your new ideas formulated in your quiet inner space. And in there, you're going to be able to contemplate them in your time out. As you do that, as you take the time throughout the day to meditate, to pause, breathe, get calm and clear, and formulate the ideas that you really want to see magnified and reflected in the world, then those things are going to trickle down into the world, right? And come to pass. So it's wise to take time out regularly to go into your secret space of your spiritual identity and to ponder, to hold in your heart mind and ponder the things that you want to see embodied and that you want to see come to pass in the world. Because what we focus on in here, what we focus on right here gets magnified and pumped into the versions of our personal life in the moment. And that way, we can really have a strong guidance system of being able to lead our lives or vote for the things we want to see in our lives in a very real way. And boom, 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 be surprised at how what we have above becomes here below. As above, so below. It's just so simple and easy. After you've tried this a few times, you just become so empowered. You really feel the recognition of living in two worlds at the same time. In the world of the non-material spiritual awareness, the true identity, the God within us all, and the world of the personal self, the ever-changing, ever-growing, ever-evolving set of light and data and circumstances called your personal history, called your personal roles in life. So let's pull the last card of this stack, this pick a card for your highest good, pick a card stack, and find out what it is. Oh, self-forgiveness. So it's saying here, whoa, we totally forgive ourselves now. Why? Because we know how hard it is to be a limited self in the world. We know that each self has to play the role they're playing in the moment. We know that we couldn't be any more than 5 years old when we were 5 years old. No, we had to be the 5-year-old. We know that when we were 7, we did different than 5. And we had to be the 7-year-old. We are forgiving ourselves because we know that our self is limited and can only embody the roles in the season that it's in. And it's doing its best with what we are taking the time out to feed it by what we focus on in our thoughts, in our beliefs, in our ideas, in our consciousness space. It says, let go of old guilt. There's no guilt for us. There's no condemnation for those of us who are in Christ, as the Bible would say. Not to quote the Bible, but why not? It's just meaning that those of us who have risen up to recognize, gotten out of the world to recognize our higher self, our spiritual self, that consciousness. There is no guilt. There is no condemnation, no old guilt. You can remember that you are God's perfect child. God's perfect child. What is that? That means that we simply are the Spirit of God living inside of a limited person called you. And look how happy God is. He's like, oh yeah, I'm so happy that they know that this is who they are, that they have been willing to accept this inheritance, this identity, this spiritual identity, and this beautiful light that is always present in the moment, this focal point of God living inside of a person. Yeah. And that, my friends, is wise to be able to adopt that identity and live in two places at once. Outside of the world, free and clear, but in the world too, as a never-ending, ever-changing variety of personal experiences, which only just add to that database of your beautiful spiritual entity life. And all of the leaves on this tree of life, all of the experiences, all of the things you go through, all of the times you use courage and all the times you face your fears, all of the actions you take, all of the ideas you bring, all the words you share, all of the time you spend with others, all of that is all beautiful, beautiful colors of the light for the healing, for the leaves of the healing of all the people in the nations, all the people, meaning all the people that you would come across in your day-to-day interactions. So, enjoy this reading. Yeah. Subscribe to this channel if you want to see more. Also, you can go to any other video in this YouTube channel of mine. You can set the intention that you're going to hear a message for your highest good. And because we are in agreement of this, it'll just happen for you. You just go to where you're drawn. Also, you can find me anytime just by going to my Facebook page and finding me. You can request a reading. I do paid readings as well. It doesn't cost very much at all. Just let me know. The links are down in the post to be able to contact me. Anyhow, enjoy your day. Enjoy this pick a card reading. Enjoy living as that spiritual entity and really tapping into the goody good stuff. Thank you. All right. If you pick card stack number 2 for this free pick a card stack reading adventure, this is it. I have it right here in my hands. We're going to get right into it. Yeah. Let's take a peek and see what we see. All right, the first card that comes up, the creation card. Boom. Look at you. So empowered to be able to go ahead and make these creative experiences come to light. You are, at first here, a force of creation in the world, in your personal life. Nobody else can go where you are. Nobody else has the power to create with your words and your images that you hold up here in your mind, your ideas. That's why we see the little headband up here. This is the crown chakra, or the focal point area where we bring our great ideas down from the white light, as you can see by the smoke or the light emanating from the crystal. You can see that we bring those ideas down, they come through us, they're right in our hands. The power of creativity is in our hands. And that white light needs a place to embody. Where is it going to embody? Where are those ideas? Where are those interesting thoughts? Where are those hopes and desires of yours, those unique desires of yours, going to embody? Well, they're going to go right through you, through your hands, and into the world as the little peace birds that go flying out to tell the story of the wonderful things that you are imagining and discerning right up in here, right up in here. So look at you with your red, deep, deep red cloak on. This is the symbol of a color for a new foundation of creativity, a creative living, meaning that we're able to let go in the moment of old ideas, old concepts, just enough to be able to stay fresh and brand new, wide-eyed, single-eyed, and open to the powerful flow of renewal that's moving through us. And we're able to hear that white light, if you will, hear those impressions that are coming in based on these two feathers coming down from the earrings. We're able to hear the things in new ways, see things in new ways around us. And that's going to spark iterations of creative thought and creative action that's going to help us to change the space of our personal life now and forever going forward. The white birch tree here represents the black and white of the world, that duality of the world, the good versus evil of the world. All of that is fading away, become the birch tree, which is more of a blending of gray. So things aren't black and white anymore. They're not so polarized anymore. It's more of a variety of creative expression, and we are just relaxing more into our creative power and that creative flow. You can see it all here in this white birch tree. The white birch tree also represents a palette of anything is possibleness. We can write onto the tree of personal life our thoughts, our hopes, our dreams, our preferences. As we do that, as we imagine and outline them in a creative way up here and feel the energy of that and let them go, they drift out and they come back as a reflection or as fruit or leaves of this tree in our reality. So good to know that we are the only authority in our personal life that is painting with the white light of what we imagine and feel. No longer do you have to be concerned that there is some type of an enemy that could even do any of that. No one can prevent you from the good that you imagine and take actions on. That's what the card is saying. The creation is happening through you. In a real way, God or the source or the universe has decided to unite with you to create something brand new, something a little different than what everybody else makes. And it might be similar, but it is not the same. It has that unique flare of spark of light, of elixir of green spiritual heart showing up in the ground here. That green spirit that is in you, that spiritual renewal that is in you, that is going to make it successful because it is unique to you, You can see that you are someone who is very comfortable in this creative flow, in this creative state. In fact, we are always in this position where we are constantly creating something, so we might as well get into the conscious space of deciding what we prefer. We're going to upgrade all of our wants and needs. We're going to upgrade them to simple preferences. We're kind of going to loosen our grip on them enough so that they can escape our tight hands and go flapping out into the world as these beautiful white doves, birds of peace and manifestation. So good. What a great card to start with. You can also see all the gray on the outside of the card, again signifying that the world of black and white, the world of two powers, of good versus evil, the world of opponents, is diminished and blended into this one beautiful gray color of unity and creative progression. Let's take a look at the second card in your reading, boom, 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 and find out what it's going to be. Okay, the second card that comes up is, oh yeah, the guilt card. Bye-bye, guilt. This is something that we are not going to miss at all now that we are this new entity of creativity, now that the black and white world is gone away. Look at it all. The black and white world where there are two enemies and fighting each other, or two powers fighting each other, God versus devil, good versus evil, all that old way of thinking of competition, that all goes away. And it should, because we don't want this foundation of guilt to remain. No. Those of us who have woken up spiritually know that we are really a child of God, a spirit of God, and awareness inside of a physical person. We know that these days have ended, that this does not have any power over us because we're living up here beyond the world, living in the nice white and green, beautiful flowers, all encapsulated with that purple wisdom, the wisdom of our experiences that have been gleaned from this black and white world of duality, this strange separation, this strange emotional disturbance place that we are living up and above and beyond. It's such a nice, beautiful place. Think about the way that when it's cloudy out, the sun is still shining up above those clouds. Even though when we look up, we just see the clouds, we won't want to see a little differently now. We want to change the way we look at things, and the things that we're looking at change their grip on us. If we look up at the clouds, if it does feel like it's cloudy and feeling a little condemning, don't worry, that won't stay the same. We can look up at those clouds and we can know in here, like, wait a second, maybe it feels like this, maybe it looks like this, but the truth is, there is a bright sunshine up above those clouds, and before long, it's the clouds that are going to dissipate, not the sun. The sun remains, the cloud dissipates. Yeah, there's no condemnation for those who are inside of that sunlight of the spiritual consciousness, and that guilt and shame goes away from anything. Now, let's look at the next card, but before we do, just see this little 8 right here. There it is again. There's the gray. There's the gray that we saw outlined in the first card. Remember, things are not black and white anymore. They are now gray. And the number 8 on its side really is the infinity sign. Things are not black and white anymore. Things are infinitely varied. Things are an infinite variety of neither good nor bad. It's only our thinking that could make it so. So if you describe something as bad or scary or whatever, then you'll have an experience of that. If you feel guilty about something, then you're going to have that experience. You can go in and you can learn your lesson, you can pluck your flower from the experience, and therefore you can let go of this and hold on to that wisdom, that lesson, that beautiful white flower, that green health and wellness elixir of data that you got out of your experience. So if you're going through a tough time, just know it's littered with beautiful flowers. Focus on those. Let go of any of the other crappity crap, because you just don't need to bring that forward, and you don't have to. Yeah, let's look at the next card in this reading, and let's see what we're going to see. What's it gonna be? Oh, be still. Now look, so when we are going through the world and we do have experiences that feel a little bumpy, a little bit of turbulence, a little bit of bouncy bounce or ouchy ouch, that's the time when we want to take that breath, be still, and know that I am God. From the Bible, be still and know that I am God. Meaning what? Be still and know that God is the only power. There is just one who has all power, the power of creation, and it is constantly the white light, one power, working through you all the time. Even if it looks like it's not, remember, it always is. It always is up above. So we want to judge things not by sight when they look all crappy. No, we want not by looking at the past. No, not how things always were. No, we want to judge based on righteous judgment, meaning just judge based on what you imagine and feel to be the very best you can conjure up in here, the very best you can create in your consciousness space. Because remember, there is no other authority living inside of you other than God inside of you, living through you in your personal life. You're the only conscious being, you're the only God spark that is living inside of this body called you. The personal circumstances called you. And there you are as that. You can see the blue is that serenity, is that communication, because the blue represents the throat color, the throat chakra. That is communication. Communication with the what? The white light. Communication with the white light all the time as a foundation. You are that. And what's happening as you do that? Look at all your hair. Look at all that flow. Look at all that flow of creativity of the white light. The white light that we see here flowing out to make new things in the world. It is now turning into different colors of variations of what you prefer. So everything that you describe with the white light up here is starting to get acted upon. You can be still and trust that that white light is going to embody in your words and in your hopes and desires. It's going to become the flowing breeze of your hair that's going to go out like little tentacles, out like little streams of light, formulating into these beautiful colors, meaning specific ideas are coming into the world to manifest as material things. All these little flows are little channels of new behaviors, new products, new whatever, new ways of showing up in relationships, new practices, new goals that you are meeting. They're all going out into the world. They're going to go out and then they're going to come back around as reflections of your personal life. You are in a process of creation. You are constantly expressing the light, and it goes out into the world and comes back around again over and over. A never-ending revolution. Oh, there's the halo coming in. A never-ending revolution of the white light embodying itself, embodying your life. When you decide that this is who you are as a spiritual being, then you get up and beyond the guilty feeling of the cloudy earth place, and you get up into the stars, up into the above place where you get to live as the spiritual being, having never-ending iterations of renewal and new things coming to pass. Let's take a peek at the final card in this stack that you were drawn to. What's it going to be? What? Father healing. Father healing. Okay, what are we looking at with Father healing? This is pretty straightforward. We were talking about God. We were talking about the universe. We were talking about getting into that clear identity as the God spark, as the Father within us. And that's going to help us get past any old guilts, shames, any old worries about what we're seeing in the world around us, any old insecurities. They're all going to fall away because we know that things are not black and white anymore. Things are this beautiful gray mixture of one power, Father, one Father, if you will, healing all of our perceptions, all of our experiences, all of our circumstances to create new things in the world that match all of the yellow, which is all the sunlight of joy, all of the purple, which is what? All of the wise lessons, wise stories, wise things that we can bring into this existence for other people to consume, to understand, to make part of their own lives. So we're really getting this healing sense of life being so much easier, so much better, flowing so much more smoothly because we are accepting the healing elixir of that white light and that idea that we are the only conscious spark of God in the world in our own personal life, so that nobody could ever be against us. This is the big healing, the big inheritance, the big Poseidon, the thing that resides over the oceans of change, over the seasons of change in our life. No other power, just one who has all power. And this is really what heals us up and puts us into that space where we are able to increase our personal power, as it says here, to be able to manifest all the things that we prefer based on our highest aspirations, our highest hopes and dreams. So enjoy this reading. Enjoy being that creative authority in your own personal life. Enjoy the healing and the power that flows when we accept our identity as consciousness and accept that elixir of love and light that comes from one power, one God, the Father, one source, one universe, whatever you want to call it. Now, I hope you enjoyed this. If you want, subscribe to this channel. That way when I make videos, you'll see them when they pop up. Select the bell and put it on all notifications so that you don't miss any. Plus, you can set an intention that you will get a message from any of the other videos on my channel. Just set that intention, then pause, take a breath, and when you're ready, just go look through all the video thumbnails. Whichever one you're drawn to, just go ahead and select that. Then watch it with the intention that you're going to hear what you can use for your highest good. And what? Boom, it just happens. It's just the way it is because we've set the intention, we've made that agreement. Anyhow, thank you so much. Be sure to like the video. If you have any questions, you can always reach me. Just comment. Also, if you want private readings, I'm available for stuff like that. Just go ahead and find my information down in the descriptions and we can get to work together. It really doesn't cost much at all. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy. Hey there, you picked packet number 3, card stack number 3 for this free what reading for you for your highest good, something that you can use right here, right now for your highest good. Let's get right into it and see what we see. The first card that comes up is, oh yeah, the workaholic card. Hey there, what's with you? Spending all your time on your job, never giving any attention to the other beautiful things in life. Shame, shame, shame. No, that's silly. That's not what this card means at all, and it's not what this reading is about. In fact, this card is one of the best cards in this deck. Let me explain the interpretation of what it is, because that's what we're doing here. We're reading the cards for your highest good right here. Now, the first thing to know about the workaholic card is This pertains to the principle that is constantly at work in your life and in the lives of everyone else around us. What is that principle? Well, it's the principle that there is only one power. You could call it God or the source or the universe, whatever. It's one power, not two powers fighting each other, not good versus evil, not us versus them. No, no, no. It's one power of love and light that is constantly expressing itself through people, places, and things, and through you. And you can see that here. It is the workaholic because it is constantly doing its job 24/7, all year long. Now, as a child of God, as a one who is born in the image of God, one who is inside of having their being and movement inside of God, means that you are this purple plum. This purple is the crown chakra. This purple represents wisdom, new ideas, unique ideas that only you are holding up here in your faith space, that you are able to get in touch with based on all of the personal experiences you have encountered since you were born into this world. So remember, you are a unique collection of colorful details, colorful paintings that have been scenes of life, circumstances of life that have come to pass. They're only put together in the unique way inside of you, in your memories, that they are. And everyone else has got a different set of paintings, a different set of unique details. It could be similar, but everybody's is like a snowflake, a little different from everyone else's. This makes you the most valuable and rarest entity in the entire world because you are something that source, light, the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, that love and light can paint through into the world in a new and varied way. And that's what we're seeing happening here. This workaholic called God is always at work, having our true heart's desires coming to pass in our personal life when we are still and know that God is the one who is got all the power. Now that we know that God or source or the light is one power, not two fighting powers. No, not good versus evil. Remember, it's one power. When we side with that, we get this little palette of the 7 colors of the light. Those are the 7 colors of the rainbow. Look, they represent the white light, that one power, that is getting manifested into the world through you, through your words, your ideas, your behaviors, your beliefs, your intelligence is the paintbrush that helps these white light power become little different colors. Blues and greens and oranges represent whether you go to the store or whether you drive the car, whether you ride the bike, whether you rollerblade, what all the little details of your personal life are. Whether you, eat an apple or an orange, these are all the little unique decisions, unique paintings and details and brush strokes that you are experiencing in your life. So remember, this one power is always animating and always looking for a painting partner to paint into the world through so that it can expand the light and embody itself in a new way. And that new way is through you, this wise purple painter, creator that you are. Now, the next message here is that all of this blue, this light blue, represents the throat chakra. It is our communication, our voice. So this is also telling us, reminding you that your voice is important. It is unique. It is different, and it is valuable. And when we know this about ourselves, then we are able to fully grasp the up and down paintbrush. We're not worried about if we're painting right or wrong. We are more concerned with getting into the flow of the paintbrush, going ahead and relaxing and allowing the little ideas that are in us, the big ideas, to come rushing out in situations day to day throughout our moment-to-moment life. This is going to bring new iterations of the light and new details into our relationships, into our businesses, into our finances, into our everythings, into our personal world. And that's going to be a set of paintings that is different from everyone else's. We can see that here too. You don't have to worry about other people's paintings getting mixed in with yours. You don't have to worry about other people influencing you. No, they cannot go where you are. We each have our own canvas set of a path that is next to each other, but separate from each other. Now, the only real way we can influence each other is when we come up out of our galleries, out of our painting area, out of our workspace, out of our day-to-day life, and we come out into a communication with the other spiritual people who are going to maybe look at our paintings and say, wow, that's interesting what you did. I want to do something like that too, in a way. And they are able to glean from you, based on your experience, glean from you new ways of approaching things, new perspectives, all because of what you uniquely bring into the world. So good. This is the workaholic that God is doing. The God, the source, the universe is expanding itself in a variety of new ways. And it's doing that through every person, through 7 billion different people. Oh, yeah, and through all the people that have been here before and all the ones that will come afterwards. You are as rare as them, but you are the rarest ever, because you're the only you that you'll ever have. And it's so wonderful to know that that light is always working to manifest through you. So we want to make sure we get calm and conscious to be able to choose what we really sense is worth bringing into the world. What our heart's desires are, our inclinations are, our true joys. Those are the things that are set up best for us to allow the light to flow through, and it'll bring us the most joy, the most fulfillment. So we want to be painting along those lines. Now, let's look at the second card and see what we see. Oh yeah, the next card in this free pick a card stack reading for you right here, right now, for your highest good is the Courage card. Yeah. So look, first of all, we see you breaking out of that duality. That's that stone and that limited space of right versus wrong. Oh no, good versus evil. Two powers. Oh no. Now we're breaking out of that. We're in this joyful new space. That's what the yellow represents, the joy color. And we're in that space where we're so overjoyed that now we know we are a dual being. We are both a spiritual identity and a limited self in the world. We are both a consciousness and awareness, that purple plum painter. And we are also this limited self that we are painting on day after day in all the roles that we're playing in our life, in all the infinite little details that we are experiencing on a day-to-day basis, all the little tasks we're doing, all the little moments of our life that are being painted as scenes in the world. Those are the two identities that we really have. We are a dual being, a spirit and a self combined, both breaking out of this green. What is that green? This green is that spiritual heart chakra wide open. This is the acceptance of our identity as a spiritual being having a human experience. When we accept that God is one and that we are children of God, children of the light, children of one power, and we are a conduit or a channel, that's when we sprout out of duality, sprout out of the world. We get beyond the world, above the world. We move into our joy space. And our heart chakra, our green glowing heart chakra, is wide open. It's both within us and around us. Now, there's nothing at all that we can't accomplish, right? Because we have the two ingredients of the white light coming through our spirit, our awareness, our consciousness, and the white light manifesting in our personal day-to-day life. So good to have the courage to claim to be this child of God, have the courage to claim and recognize this identity as spiritual awareness. Oh my God, I'm some kind of weird awareness inside of myself. Oh my gosh, I am a dual being. I'm not Brian at 5 years old, Brian at 10 years old, Brian at 15 years old. None of those are the real me, right? Which one is? Well, it's the spiritual awareness, that consciousness, that inner observer that's been there ever since I first remember. That is the God spark within. And now that we know who we really are, this is our selfie today. Look at you, so good, a dual being combined in joy and spiritual wellness. Now that we know who we are, we can be living outside of the world, but still be in it. Jesus said it, not to quote the Bible, but why not? He said, hey, Father, I'm not asking that you would take them out of the world so much as that they would be able to be where we are, Up here, overcoming the world, just beyond the world of up and down, rigid, ouchy duality, where sometimes things look good and sometimes things look bad, and we're always wondering in doubt what they're going to be. No. We are way up above that now. We have the courage to claim our identity as the spiritual being having a human experience, and as a result, we accept the gift that God has given us, and it's now working 24/7 to paint wonderful things based on our heart's desires through us. So you can count on those unique things coming to pass. Your third card is limitless. Yeah. Boom. Perfect card. Look at this. The limitless expression of the light coming through you. The limitless amount of paintings of possibilities. You're an angel of light in this respect, that you are a willing conduit of God, source, universe to express itself in the world. It says, oh my God, I choose you, I invite you. All those who are called, who will choose to be chosen, who will accept this identity as a channel for me, the bright light, and I want to bring to you wings of joy and awareness and wonder and beauty. Look at it all. This red represents this brand new foundation of your existence in the world. Not only now are you no longer this in danger of black and white duality flower, but your courage has risen you up into this dual being, this red foundation of a spiritual being with white light wings, with joy yellow tips, so that you're always flapping around, expressing and flowing is what it means. You're flapping your jaw. You're expressing and trumpeting and talking about all the things that are beautiful, wonderful, immaculate that you are getting in your boom, 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 radiating spiritual consciousness, your awareness, your you of you. And this is the great place to be because it opens the door to the unlimited possibility, the limitlessness. With God, all things are possible. And this card is showing you exactly that. Will you have the courage to buy into the concept that this is what it looks like to be you now? Will you accept the never-ending work that God is constantly doing, the source, the universe, whatever you want to call it, this one white light is constantly doing in your life, if you should so choose to receive it? Let's look at the final card. What a great position to be in. What's it gonna be for you? Oh yeah, stay optimistic. So look, this is the big thing. It's so easy when you just make that decision that, you know what, I'm going to ponder up on this awesome mountain and awesome castle that I want to be in, right? Whenever you're feeling like, maybe this isn't the case, that maybe things aren't limitless, that maybe you don't have the courage, maybe life is too hard, blah, blah, blah. Whenever that happens, just stay optimistic. Point your awareness, point your sights to higher ground like she's doing here. Point towards that fantastic place, the fantasy land. What? The imagination space, the anything is possible space, the limitless land. The limitless land. And remember the experiences you've been through that have led you up to this moment where you can even recognize you've got a little mermaid tail, meaning that you really are this green spiritual heart embedded inside your personal life. And that the part of you that never changes is that conscious awareness, is that inner you, that little inner observer, that little spark of divinity that is always present. So, that's your reading. Oh my gosh, stay optimistic. When things around you look like they're falling apart, no. Let go of that. Let go of that and remember, just be still. Remember who you have become, who is available, what your true inheritance is as a child of the constantly working light of God, source of universe in the world, and allow those paintings to shift before your very eyes. Before you know it, you'll be right up here again. Right up here again. So good. That's your reading. I hope you enjoyed it. Now look, you can always get one-on-one readings from me. Just look down in the description. There should be a way to find me through Facebook. That works. And if there's any other questions you have, just leave them as comments. Let me know how this reading hit you. Let me know whatever you want to let me know. In any event, start a YouTube subscription if you don't have one. It's free. Just subscribe to this channel after you make your own, and we will do some wonderful things together. I'll be putting up more videos. There's over 100 videos on my channel. You can always set the intention that you're going to get a message from one of them, and then just go through them and pick the one you feel drawn to. It works every time. You'll hear something worth hearing for your highest good in the moment. It's kind of weird how it works, but it does. It just does. Thank you for being here. Enjoy.